a typical top 5 shooting guard list of all time is usually going to be Michael Jordan number 1, Kobe Bryant number 2, and then that gets a little tricky after that. Some got D Wade, some got Jerry West, and then around the 5 spot is the James Hardens and the Clyde Drexlers and the Reggie Millers of the world, and so on and so forth. If you want to count Iverson as a shooting guard, he's somewhere in there. But the real conversation, at least these days, is James Harden versus Dwyane Wade, or at least it used to be a conversation. Back when James Harden was Houston's go-to guy, the first option for the 6-7 years he was there, it was a conversation. And it was an open conversation because James had a lot of opportunities to show the world that he can get the job done come playoff time, just like he was getting the job done come regular season time. But for some reason, he couldn't put together a lengthy and good playoff run in which D Wade has had 2 or 3 under his belt already at that time. By the time James was in Houston, D Wade probably had 06 and he had 2011, and he was still solid in 2012. You can give him 3. If you really want to be picky, you can say just 2, because he feasted in those previous 2 playoff runs in 06 and 2011. And he would have won Finals MVP in 2011 if LeBron didn't completely no-show. So, that being said, D-Wade has 2 very good playoff runs under his belt, and we're still waiting to see James Harden's first playoff run. And contrary to some fans' belief, that especially the James Harden fans that want to minimize this, playoff runs matter, because that's when winning time is. That's when legends are established in the postseason. The guy, I think he still holds the record for most turnovers in a playoff game. Twice he did that. He just has this awful history of just not just no-showing, but just completely dropping the ball come playoff time. It isn't like he's going out there and feasting and, kicking ass and taking names. No, he's looking a lot worse than what he should look. And unfortunately, that's the rep that he's going to have for a long time, unless he comes into this season with Philly as second option to Joel Embiid, becomes, what he used to be, which I don't think he can be anymore. There's really no redeeming his image of what he's established himself to be all these years later. Do I think he can be better than Dwyane Wade? No, I don't think so. I think he's going to retire as the 5th best shooting guard of all time. He's still a top 30 player all time. That's no knock on James Harden. Again, great regular season player, but some players can't replicate that performance come playoff time when it really matters. And unfortunately for James Harden, he was unable to do that. As a first option, as a leader, as the go-to playoff guy, D Wade was really good at it. But James Harden, unfortunately, was not. So, again, you can realistically put him top 5. That's how I do it. But I don't think the D-Wade Harden conversation has been legit in at least 3 years now. And I don't think it ever will be, because James had opportunities to show that he is better, but he just never showed. So that's my opinion on the situation. I know, again, some will think differently, and that's all fine and dandy. But when it comes to Harden versus Wade, man, I'll always take Dwyane Wade. He shows up consistently in both facets. James Harden, unfortunately, did not.